like to know your point of view.
Hi everybody, welcome to Evening TV. I'm Evening Ransom. See my son behind me here, and I have his guitar over there. And the reason for that is that this is the 3rd anniversary of his death this year. He died on July 11th, 2016. Noah was 20 and he was had just moved down to Portland, and Liam was going to go join him at the end of the month down in Portland. I had spent most of Liam's senior year of high school at a program called Sober College in Los Angeles, which was a really cool program. Because this program, we'd been there basically the entire school year, 9 months, and it was the best experience that he'd had. The shortcoming of it was, which I didn't really understand yet at the time, the shortcoming of it was that he didn't get any trauma treatment, and this was the shortcoming of all the treatments that he went. And any treatment program that I have had any association with has had the same flaw. Most of them do, is that they're not treating trauma, and they are based in the 12-step method, which is notoriously unsuccessful. It has a really, really high failure rate. A person like Noah, and a person who's been abused, it's completely the wrong thing. As far as programs go, this program, the Sober College program, was, other than it not having trauma treatment and being 12-step based, it was really, really good. I thought everything else it was doing was really great because he got to play a ton of music. There was a lot of music involved. He got to do a lot of performances and play music.
I'm a grateful recovering heroin addict. This is a song I wrote here. It's so right.
Came home for my birthday and for the 4th of July party that we were going to have here. So he came home like on July 3rd. This picture's taken that day. He left on July 7th. The last time I saw him with my own eyes, he was walking out the front door. He had his guitar over his back, and it was a sunny night, and he was going out with my husband to take him to the train. I hugged him. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the phone rang. On July 11th, the phone rang, and it was Noah. And I was like, I thought it was kind of interesting for him to call that late. I thought I was a little bit worried, but he sounded fine. I go, hello, and he said, "Oh, Mom, yeah. I didn't mean to call you. I was calling Reese, his roommate, for a ride home. What are you doing?" "Oh, I just got done busking. The bars just let out, and so I told Reese. Reese was out, and so he said he'd give me a ride home if I called him after the bars let out, and because that's when he makes his most money, is when the bars let out. So I was just calling for my ride home." I go, "Oh, okay." Well, he's like, "So I gotta go, Mom, because I gotta get a hold of Reese. I don't want to miss my ride." I go, "Okay, honey. Well, just be careful. I love you. I love you too, Mom." That was the last time I talked to him. He called me by accident. I think it was just lucky, just God. That was just God, I think. And so his last words that I said to him was, "Be careful. I love you." And his last words to me were, "I love you too, Mom." So that was 2 o'clock in the morning. About 10 o'clock that night, on the 11th, Liam was out camping with a friend. We were just about ready to go watch a movie, and the phone rang. They asked me if I was Noah Ransom Shinky's mother, and I said yes. And he said that he passed away. I just fell to my knees, and the sound came out of me. The sound just came out of me, and that I'd never heard before. In that moment, now this thing has happened. You didn't expect it to happen. The world all looks different than you ever thought it was going to. The first choice you have to realize, first thing you have to do is choose to live. So I chose to live. Then I chose to love. It's a big choice to make, because if you choose to love, you could get hurt. You could lose. If you lose somebody, it hurts a lot. And so you have to choose to do it, because if you don't do that, life just loses all its color. I made a choice that I knew I had to give. I had to give back, and so almost right away I started this channel. That was one of the first things that I did, was started this channel, and I needed to tell the story. I had never, ever told anyone anything about the previous, the things that had happened. I'd been sort of shoved out and, kicked out of the community, kicked out of my family, estranged and exiled, and I just kind of kept quiet and started a new life, separate from everybody else, but I never talked about it. And I needed to start talking about it and what happened with my son, and that was a jumping off point to basically talk about the whole story. I needed to keep learning. I needed to keep growing. As long as I'm here, I need to keep learning and growing. I made some decisions about things I wanted to learn. I want to learn to play an instrument. I want to learn Spanish. Laugh. And I knew that Noah would want that for me. I knew that he'd want me to laugh. And so anything you find, sometimes there's absurdity in some of the things that happen. Talking about Noah, telling some of his stories is funny. I needed to pray or meditate, or, be in touch with my spirituality. I needed to exercise. I needed to take care of myself. I needed to create something. These were things that I knew in a different way than before. That no longer were some of those things optional. That now that those were going to be lifelines for me, taking those things really serious. Reinvention is a theme of my channel, that things happen in life. Life is hard, things happen in life. And some of the messages that I want to give in my channel is that, yeah, life is hard, things happen in life, but you're strong enough, These things happen to you because you're able to handle it. And there's opportunities in your pain. There's opportunities in the hard things that happen. And it's making you bigger. It's making you stronger. It's making you more compassionate. It's making you able to do things you weren't going to be able to do before. And it's a chance to recommit to the things that really matter and recommit to the present. Because one thing's for sure, when you're faced with the kind of losses like this, you know that that this moment is really all you can count on. And to be really grateful for this moment and to be present in it. To be really present in it. So these are things to do. Be patient with yourself if you're going through something like that. Any kind of loss. Whether it's you're estranged, making a choice to walk away from people that are abusive and shouldn't be in your life, or you've actually lost someone, or you're coming to a realization about things weren't the way you thought they were, And there's all kinds of losses, Be gentle with yourself. So be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Take really excellent care of yourself. Really simple. Keep things really simple as possible. Allow yourself some space and time. Allow yourself space and time to grieve. So, give yourself permission to feel good, because things will happen and there'll be moments, and those moments will get longer and more frequent, where you'll feel good. You'll actually feel happy. You'll feel okay. You'll feel like yourself a little bit. Some feeling will come along that'll be good, and you need to feel okay about that and let the guilt go. Certain kinds of losses really come with a huge amount of guilt. And, when your child dies of an overdose, or there's a suicide or something like that happens, and when you have a narcissistic abuse, those losses are guilt-laden for a long time because everyone's blaming you. And you've gotten accustomed to blaming yourself. And so once you realize it, once you realize how that all really works, you can start to let the guilt go. Your self-care is just really, really important in a time of grief, when you have a time of loss. Whatever the loss is, self-care is really, really important. Try and find meaning in what's happened. Try and find meaning in it. Find purpose in it. Try to find something you can do with it. And have faith in the process. Have faith in the grieving process. Have faith in the universe, and that this happened for a reason, and that you're strong enough to deal with it. Accept that life is different. And that's one of the things that comes it's one of those big notions that comes along, and it's terrifying. Because you realize they're gone, and you realize you're still here. And then you realize you gotta figure out a way to live. You gotta figure out a way to go on living now that life is so different. And this critical piece of it is gone. And that is at once terrifying. And then it can become something meaningful. And it can become something beautiful. If you can just try and have faith in that whole process. That there's going to be something on the other side of that. You don't have to know what it is. It's losses of all kinds. And, I definitely feel as though my parents and my brother and many friends have also died. And even though they're still alive, those relationships, who I thought they were and all that, there are also relationships that died. And so I have a lot of experience with that. My grandparents, who were very close to me, and my son are the only actual real deaths I've dealt with so far. But they're significant. Those are the people that were really like the big loves in my life, the ones who really actually loved me and all that. So, those are significant. And certainly losing a child is, not how the course of things are supposed to, you ask yourself a million questions. Why did they have to suffer like that? Why couldn't I help him? Why couldn't I, you ask yourself a million questions that there are no answers to. And eventually, you just have to accept that did the best you knew to do. That's all there is, So I hope that helps somebody out there. If you like this video, please give me a like. That's the way you can help this girl out. And take care, everybody. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Oh,